everybody, it's Charlotte, and it is the beginning of June, and I'm getting ready to leave for 2 weeks to go teach in Vermont, and I wanted to let everybody see how great everything's doing, because it looks so good right now, and it's going to be different when I get home. So we're going to start here at the front gate. And I have these metal flowers on the front gate that Freddie, that helps us with all our grass and a lot of the heavy lifting in the yard, put them up because I couldn't figure out exactly where to put them, and he did a great job. Here in my front pots, I put our aqua pots, these big cobalt aqua pots, out here this year so that they could manage the water better, so Tommy wasn't stuck with dealing with the water so much, and I think it's really paying off. You can't see the pretty pots, but boy, are the plants doing well. So the star of the show right now is the sweet potato vine, Sweetheart Lime sweet potato vine. Also in this pot, we have coffee cups, elephant ears over here. I've got jazzberry supertunias, and I've got truffalo pink gomphrena, and this combination is really nice. If we look over here, I'm not sure why that one's gotten so long and this one has stayed kind of up and tight, but they both look really good. So I'm excited about that. We have a leaf cast from one of our elephant ears from last year on the ground. So we're going to come through the gate. Whoops, I got to push the gate the other way. And try to get the dogs back in. We just had like a torrential downpour and thunderstorm, and some of us got in and some of us didn't. But everybody that didn't get in, we've got porches on the house and stuff, so they weren't stuck out in the rain. But in the front here, it's looking really full, really nice. So I'll give you sort of a big overall picture. I guess 2 years ago, we tore out the knockout roses. The whole front was covered in 14 knockout roses, and that's all that was up here. And they were beautiful, but they got rose rosette. So it was really depressing. This is one of our Pugster Pink amethyst butterfly bushes, blooming really well. Boy, does that get the butterflies. These front things are double doozy spirea. We've got some jazz hands loropetalum behind them. We thought the loropetalum would be bigger than the spirea. I guess we should have cut the spirea more last year. Behind that, we've got some hardy hibiscus that blooms later. Down at the bottom across this whole bed, I always put bubble gum, Supertunia bubble gum, and it looks great once it gets going, and it just hasn't gotten going as well as it could have yet. Right here, these puffs are golden sage. I love this golden sage. And these were left over from last year or 2 years ago. So it really stays well. Ugh, the steps are really dirty. In the pots at the base of the steps here, I've got lantana. And I'm thinking this will be a good spot because this gets baked by the afternoon sun and it's hot and dry up here. In our pots on the porch, we've got great big ferns, macho ferns. We're trying that this year. They're still in their little nursery pots, and those taller pots have got one of those plastic orange things you get at Lowe's to lift it up. And I can fill the bottom of the pot with water so the pots don't blow over, and it works a little bit like a self-watering container. So coming along here, it's more of the same. We've got the hibiscus in the back, jazz hands loropetalum. We've got the supertunias, the sage. I've got a little bit of lamb's ear here. We also had some peonies and some iris that bloom in this bed, but they're swallowed up now. And right here, you'll see we had a little tragedy. Freddie is amazing, and he brings his children with him, and they are also amazing. And his son was spraying, I guess, around the trees on the driveway, and I think he tried to help us, and he didn't realize these cleome were plants I wanted, and so our cleome got sprayed a little bit. But that's all right. I've got plenty of it. I can move it around. It seems like it's pretty hardy because some of them that he sprayed, I don't think are going to die all the way. But it was unfortunate. We're going to get that straightened out. But back here, I've got that sphere on the bottom, and then I've got a gazing ball. And the petunias are a little crushed right now. I'm trying to get it where you can see them. Gazing ball in the middle of this pot, and then I've got jazzberry in the front and hoopla vivid orchid in the back. And they're really, really growing, so it's a good thing. We've got a large variegated Rose of Sharon there. It's really pretty. That variegation is really beautiful. And along this bed, it's so funny. We created a lot of this bed for the daylilies in the front, and I love my daylilies. You'll see we have a huge daylily collection. And we put in 2 limelight hydrangeas, the furthest back, and 2 little limes. And holy moly, this is their 3rd year, and boy, did they leap. First year they sleep, second year they creep, 3rd year they leap. Well, they have leaped. So I think we're going to have to find another home for these daylilies, and we'll probably move them out here. Down there, I have a cocktail fruit tree. It's 4 different fruits, and there's room below it to make a daylily bed. So I talked to Freddie about that the other day. I think that's one of our next things to do. And you can see the cleome. The cleome is gorgeous here in the late summer and the fall. And so I had let it grow, but I guess Matthew thought they were weeds. So he sprayed some of them. They're not all dead. We're going to just go with what we have. It's all going to be okay. We're coming along here. Holly's in the front, camellias in the back. And then over in this bed, it looks jumbled when you're trying to photograph it, but it's really lush when you're sitting here. We've got a fire glow Japanese maple that's perfect size. I've got a big elephant ear in the back, and I've got elephant ears between the camellias and the hollies that poke out at the end of the summer. I've got ostrich ferns in here. We've got lots of iris from the beginning, and we've got daylilies. So let's see if we can show you this daylily. Isn't that beautiful? I love daylilies. And I realize some people aren't fans, but if you get some of these fancy hybrids, they are so beautiful, and really they're very affordable for a fancy hybridized plant. I have always shopped with B&B daylilies, and their daughter AJ has taken over and has a ton of daylilies. So we're going to just rotate around here to this bed. And of course, this wasn't even a bed when we moved here. And I love the way it's filled out this year. It's just incredible. So in this bed, from the bottom up, we have some Pachysandra that a dog client brought me. But I put this little ground cover, and maybe somebody knows the name of that ground cover. I would love to know, because it is great stuff. It was doing well, and then it really did well. I put some Supertunias, Hoopla Vivid Orchid, but the ground cover is eating it alive. So that's okay. That ground cover is hardy. We've got some iris in here. We've got some hosta in here. I've got some hosta in pots on the edges. We've got in the middle here, it's hard to see on the camera, I had this kind of pitiful little Japanese maple, weeping Japanese maple. It was short, really weeping, but it has this beautiful fall color. It's just a neat plant, but we weren't using it very well. So I got this idea to buy these little ponds, these plastic ponds, and then I did spray paint the bottom of it. And we filled it with dirt and planted the tree in it. And then under the tree, I made a little fairy garden. And I love it. So it gives the tree a purpose. It looks kind of like a live oak over this fairy garden. We're going to up our fairy garden game this year. I love fairy gardens. I think it's just so cute and magical. So that gorgeous hosta came from my friends that I'm getting ready to go see in Vermont, Melissa Ellis, Steepway Morgan's. But it's beautiful. Hers are breathtaking. They're bigger than mine, but that's okay. I love it. It reminds me of her. Now this little deal here, I had some extra begonias. I had a sunpatian. I had this plant underneath that I don't know what it is that I got when we were judging a show. But looking at this pot, hasn't this made a neat little pot? So I had 2 begonias, and then I had some creeping Jenny that I stuck in between. So I made a little trio, and I put that little water globe in there. And then I put 1 stick of that ground cover, and it rooted. And look how nice that is. I love it. So kind of coming around here, this is our staging area where our pot stuff, where we have extra plants. Everybody needs a space like this. But in the front, we've got 3 mums left over from the fall that I'm hoping are going to play well for us again this year. I've got a variegated dogwood bush, I think it's a bush. It looks like a bush now. I've got 2 of them. I've got 2 ostrich ferns in pots, and then a bunch of extra stuff that we just haven't set out yet, or I just divided or something. Kind of coming around here, a wisteria that was on clearance at Lowe's that I got. And then I got these guys. Aren't they beautiful? I hope you can see them. I got these black elephant ears. Aren't they spectacular? They were on clearance at Lowe's for $8. I can't believe it. So I thought I have to try them. They didn't look so good at the time, but they have bounced back. Look at all those baby leaves. I think each of them had maybe 1 leaf that I keep going until we got another leaf, and then we cut off all the old leaves. But they're really beautiful. They're supposed to be good for the sun. There's some sun that hits here in the middle of the day. I put sweet potato vine under them. I had ordered this little, whatever it is right here in front of Tiny, the Jack Russell. That's supposed to be some sort of trailing plant. Maybe it's a variegated vinca. I'm not sure. And then we had this Trichoscantia that my friend Madison Huddy gave me a pot of it last year, and we tried to overwinter it, and it looked terrible, and I just set it outside. Well, it had fallen in little places and rooted, and I couldn't believe it. So I broke off pieces of this Trichoscantia, let's see if you can see them, and just stuck them in the dirt. I also stuck some lemon coral sedum pieces, and look at how they've rooted. So I did think that these were going to go along the back of the pergola, because the things that we have there now are the pots that I made for winter, but they're holding up. So I'm not going to move them until they aren't doing so well. And I think I'm going to leave these here until I get back from Vermont before I find another place, a better place for them. But because they're doing well, I don't want to mess it up while I'm gone. But aren't they cool? So back here, we've got some other plants. This is a shock. These are dwarf red hot pokers. And I think I got them 3 or 4 years ago. They were blooming then. They have never bloomed since. I stuck them in this pot. I was considering getting rid of them. I just dug up the last ones that were in the garden because they had never bloomed. And then look, we've got these 2 baby blooms coming. So maybe there's hope for this yet. So I'm not gonna trash it yet or give it away. I will see what they do, and then we'll probably try to find somewhere in the sun for them. But that's pretty cool that they're going to bloom finally. We have a rising sun red bud, and there is the color from the new leaves. That's why this is a desirable red bud. It was a little stick last year, and I put it in a pot, and it grew, and now we're putting on some more growth. Oh, look at these cute little baby leaves with the color. Isn't that amazing? I love it. All right, right through here. There's another one of these dogwoods. I had a spot I thought I was going to put them, and I didn't. And really, they were just so gorgeous. I've got to find somewhere for them to live, but they can live here and let me look at them for right now. These two pots on either side of the steps were my winter pots that were in front of the house. And they've got a dwarf Alberta spruce, some purple heuchera, some peach heuchera, and some variegated ivy. And they have held it together. The one on the right gets blasted with sun, and I really probably need to move it, but they look so balanced in front of these steps of this camper that I don't know, we're gonna see. Some basil, parsley, dill, all things. The basil we've got for us. The parsley and dill I've got for the butterflies. A giant mock orange that I dug up next to a fallen down house that bloomed beautifully this year in this wheelbarrow. I've got a hardy hibiscus, a spinderella, that I just got from Lowe's the other day. It didn't look great, but I really have wanted a spinderella. So I stuck it in the water there. I'm hoping it's gonna make a comeback. So that's our staging area. I've got a couple pots, another one over there, that were from the winter. And then I bought this variegated stuff. I don't know what it is. At S&K this year. And it's really exploding. So I'm going to have to ask them what it is. Some more purple heuchera. You know it's my favorite. So looking down this side of the garage. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And when these people on YouTube tell you that the light is impossible for videos, oh, it really is. It just poured down rain, so I was hoping the light would be better, and it is. But you can't do it in the blistering hot sun. The shadows are bad. And then if you do it in the evening, the light is funky, and so it's a challenge. Light is just a challenge, but I'm glad we've got some good light today. So I've got 3 pots. Well, I guess really 4 or 5 here that are combinations. So if we start at the top, that pot has got some rock and blue suede shoe salvia in the top. It's got pink cashmere, superbena, verbena, and jazzberry, supertunias. So I love that. That's a pretty easy one to love. This next one over here is probably the newest one. It's got a calla lily that my neighbor Tammy gave me. It's got some superbena sparkling amethyst, and then some kind of pink superbena, and then hoopla vivid orchid, supertunia. Then in this pot, we've got this grass, I don't know, it's a queen tut, I think. And then hoopla vivid orchid underneath it. Then I've got some heucheras of different colors, some spearmint to the left, purple, then some chartreuse, then some red in the back, another purple with variegated ivy. I think Tommy just made it home. We've got a couple Japanese maples that I got on clearance at S&K a couple years ago. Down here, it's all a rescue rhododendron and then all kinds of hostas. In my window box, I love this window box. We have a Persian shield, some fuchsia, and then creeping Jenny. So coming around here, you get to see all the hostas. That little hosta was choking in a pot at the garden center, and I brought it home, and it's doing great. Then right here, we're just thrilled with this hosta. This hosta is enormous. It's almost like you can't quite get the scale. that must be 5 feet wide and 3.5 feet tall. It is in a pot, but it is huge. It's a bluish hosta. Underneath it, we've got some leopard plants. Over here, we've got a Fatshedra, which is a cross between a Fatsia and variegated ivy. I love it. We'd take it in the garage in the winter. Under it, a little hosta. We have our largest elephant ear is here in the back, and it's starting to come up. We have just some other little things in the back there. I have my butterfly Japanese maple right there, and I'm so thrilled with it. Look at all the white leaves. It never had these white leaves, and we've had to move it twice, and now I think it finally found the spot that it loves. It gets just enough morning sun and then shade, and we've got loads of white leaves. So we've got a purple ghost, Japanese maple. And I think the ghost part is where you can see that veining that to me looks like a skeleton. On here, we've got 2 Rex begonias that I overwintered and 2 little tiger ferns. They're variegated ferns. All of those came from my friend Madison Huddy and her kids at Indian Land School. So here we've got a birdhouse made by Jen Roland Barker's husband, Jim. Some more hosta in a pot, some Solomon seal in a pot. This right here is a clematis that my across the street neighbor Tammy gave me that is coming back. I've got 2 beautiful Japanese maples here, coral bark Japanese maples. My friend Kathy Hicks gave me. Tommy just got home from getting the oil changed. Honey, I'll be done in a minute. So these pots around the foxes have got, I planted them later, but they're really pretty. They have sweet potato vine, they have super tuna vista jazzberry, some purple gomphrena, and some black and blue salvia. They're growing really well. I've got a bottle brush bush there in the middle. In this container over here, we had a branching sunflower that died, but it's got a chocolate sweet potato vine, a lime sweet potato vine, and what has done the best in that is the truffle pink gomphrena. It has one rogue sunflower that I guess the birds planted, but that's always cute too. We'll sort of look down this side. I'm getting ready to leave to go to Vermont, and Tommy's back. Honey, you don't have to, but if you, well, I guess he left. That's okay. So looking down this is that side bed. It's a daylily bed, and that bright pink is bee balm. We've got an agapanthus right there about to pop. In that bed there is a weeping dwarf, weeping cherry. It's a fun bed. So we're going to go through here. We'll look at these containers from the other side because they look the best from the other side. These 2 water troughs have got patio peaches in them, and we love them. They make full-size peaches. It's really cool. So right here, I've got my Japanese lantern plant. Charlotte, my daughter Charlotte and son Will gave this plant and pot to me last year for my birthday, and it overwintered on the porch, and it is beautiful. I love that so much. We have pots of mint, and that is mint all on the ground there. This was just it was red lava rock, and then under that was concrete and fill dirt and stuff, and nothing would grow. But this mint will grow just enough, and it softens the edges, so I actually really like it there. So here we've got some pots. These were just some experimental pots that I'd never done any of these plants before. The little red and purple, can you see the purple? The red and purple is a new Kufia or hummingbird plant for this year that I got at S&K. This, I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I'll butcher it. And then some sweet potato vine. These little pots, I got the grass at S&K in the winter, and then it's got a little tricolor sage, little lemon coral sedum, and a little fairy garden thing. Then some purple heuchera with blown glass hearts. Same thing on this side. And these are my winter pots that that haven't quit. So they are obviously some chartreuse carex, and then my favorite purple heuchera. So I'm not sure which one this is, whether it's wild berry, purple, I don't know what it is, but I love it. And then this one right here, it's just got a little more gray in it. But we've got 3 self-watering containers here. The middle one has got the grass and variegated ivy in it. Then we've got 2 terracotta pots that have the heuchera with the gray overlay. Then on the edges, on the outside, we have the carex, some ivy, and a purple heuchera. This is sort of neat. I bought this little plant, and I don't know what it is, but obviously it's some sort of vining variegated plant, because it started vining around things. So I'm going to try to train it up but it's really cute. We're just going to grow it this year. This is one of my little heads with the sedum around it. Isn't that sedum spectacular? I think it's growing well. And I don't think you can really see this flower tower. My across the street neighbor, one of my best friends, Tammy, gave it to me. And I've planted that flower tower up with Gara on the top and 2 sun patients that are doing better now. The Gara is just awesome. And then coming down, I have got Super Petunia bubblegum. I've got some purple petunia, purple wave petunia. I've got some lovey-dovey. Those may be calibrachoas, I'm not sure. And then some sparkling amethyst, verbena. It looked better before it got rained on, but that's okay. It's really filling out and looking good. On this side, we have a thunderhead pine that is growing like crazy, and this autumn joy sedum. And I know everybody rolls their eyes about autumn joy sedum, but I am telling you, you can use autumn joy sedum in spots that nothing else wants to grow, and it will make you look smart, and everybody will love it. And I highly recommend autumn joy sedum for tough places. All right, so this is the bed on this side, full of color. It's coneflower and daylily time, and we love that. So what have we got? Over here, there's a lilac. There is a trellis, a cattle panel trellis that has wisteria on it. I've got 2 big knockout roses that I cut back. But in this, we've got a spider lily there that is going to bloom. In this pot, I actually went over to my neighbor Tammy's, and we just dug some stuff up out of her front yard. These calla lilies, these black-eyed Susans, and I had stuck them in some pots, and I just stuck one of the pots right there in it. I'm excited about it. I've got some sage here at the edge. I just planted some hardy geraniums. There's a little euphorbia right there. We've got a bunch of peonies right here. Behind them, there is a midnight masquerade penstemon. We've got some rainbow euphorbia behind that. Rainbow euphorbia and the penstemon are awesome contrasting plants. Then comb flowers. And I've got lots of little art throughout the garden, and I don't always point it out, but I love blown glass. And this is one of my pieces of blown glass. I just think it's so pretty. But if you look at these coneflowers, aren't they amazing? It's the Shining Sky series. We got these beds put, just put in. They had nothing in them. And Tommy went to the grocery store and he came home with five pots from the grocery store of these Shining Sky coneflowers. And he said, I thought they were pretty. And we put them right here, and I mean, they have spread everywhere. It's incredible. I love them. And we've got some daylilies here. These are some of my favorites. We had these next to the tack room at the old house. They're just a really pretty soft pink with a yellow throat. We'll see them some more from over there. And then here's one of our red hot pokers here. And yesterday was getting the bloom. Our bloom is even better. These red hot pokers are amazing because they'll twist like fireworks. It's awesome. They're hilarious. Talk about Dr. Seuss plant. So we'll try to get these daylilies. Aren't those spectacular? I love those pink daylilies. So down here, I've got made like a little room on this side of the picnic table, little space. I've got that umbrella there, so when people are sitting here, if they need shade, they can have it. But in these pots, we've just got some different stuff. So some Asiatic lilies in this big aqua pot. I've got cannas in the back, gomphrena in the middle, some kufia. The kufia is getting swallowed up a little bit. Hummingbird plant. That's those little teeny things that look like cigarettes, kind of. And then sweet potato vine. Then as we come around, this is kind of a neat, I hope you can see it with the light. In the front, I've got two self-watering containers that have rock and blue suede shoe salvia, pink cashmere, superbena, and jazzberry, two of those. In the middle, this is funny, maybe not. When I was in Ocala, in Florida, this winter, I was at a friend's place and they had these elephant ears. And I said, can I pull one up and take it home? And she said, yes. And so I did. And those drops you see are water from the rain. I stuck this little stick into this pot and look at how great it's done. It's really growing. I love it. I just put it down here yesterday, I think. In the back, there are 3 crepe myrtles, purple crepe myrtles, smaller ones, that I bought last year to put in the back of the garden, and I never got to it. So they overwintered in their little pots, and then I just the other day put them in these bigger pots we had, underplanted them, Hoopla Vivid Orchid, and I'm just going to use them to make a little wall right here to help this be its own room. But I think that's going to work out nicely. Coming around, I love this side. Maybe we can get this flower tower better. You can see all the color on it. But right here, this is one of my favorite places and was one of the big reasons I wanted to do the pergola, so that I could make a plant wall to block the sun, to give us shade. So those windows, we'll see them from the other side. They are made by Scott Reed. They are like so cool because he uses old windows, glues glass to it, grouts it, and then it makes like a stained glass window when the sun shines through it. It's really beautiful. This is the back side of them, but you'll see the front side in a minute. So in these pots, everything's in a pot here. To the left, we've got some purple canna lilies that I got from Tyler Peabody's mother when I went to do a clinic there last year. Her garden. She gave me a stick of that, and look how nice that's doing. I love it. In front of that, getting ready to bloom, is a, oh, what do you call it? Joe Pye weed that my dear friend Sharon and I rescued 2 or 3 years ago from somebody that had abandoned it at the horse show in Kentucky. We go out for the bluegrass in Kentucky in August, and that Joe Pye weed was abandoned and looked almost dead, but we planted it in a bucket out there, and it is still in that bucket and is doing great. We have some celosia on either side. That's the pink stuff. It always does great. In the back, I have more hardy hibiscus. I'm not sure exactly which varieties these are, but boy, they filled out. We got them last year, and they are a lot bigger and thicker this year. Coming down, I've got 2 more of those plants I got from a horse show that I don't know what they are. Hopefully we'll know soon. A yellow peony in the back that is a recent acquisition. I'm excited about it. And then in this little pot here, we've got some zinnias, some little zinnias. We've got some pink cashmere gomphrena. We've got some triple color, green, white, and pink sweet potato vine. And then some blue, I think that's lavularia. If I'm wrong, somebody can tell me. And that is a little ceramic mushroom in the middle that kind of matches the pot a little bit. I love those little things. In this pot, we've got a rainbow euphorbia and some odd fuchsia that I got at S&K. It's not looking great. It looks like it may be getting too much water, so we'll have to adjust that. And on the side here, you can see, oh, we've got some blooms. Some wisteria. We're going to grow wisteria over the top of the pergola, and then we won't need the sunshade. But here, looking around, the pool looks gorgeous. We're going to come around to look at everything. Oh, we're going to stop because I forgot this last time. This is our old, I wonder if the light's going to be better this side. Our old fire pit. And we got a new one that works on propane. So I planted the old one up because I couldn't stand to get rid of it. So and these were all things we had. So it's some yarrow, like pink yarrow, autumn joy sedum, some purple lantana, purple trailing lantana, some superbells, calibrachoas. They're all plants that don't need a lot of water, and I think when the summer heat hits, that's going to be really dry, so I hope that does well. But again, we're going to come on around. It's the pool house man cave for the dogs. We'll come back over here. I need to paint that spool because I want you to see this. Today is the first day that these bloomed, that daylily. Isn't that gorgeous? It's a double, but it's like a triple double red. It's really pretty. But all the cone flowers. We've got tons of daylilies budded up. We're coming around. All the iris that has finished blooming. We've got peonies that finished blooming. That in the back is a full-size weeping cherry. Some pink muley grass in front of it. Some more of my whimsical glass art, peonies, and then I wanted to show you these hardy geraniums. These things are tough. They're awesome. You need to get some. In the back here, I had planted this elephant ear last year, and it didn't really do anything. It's got a cleome next to it. And I was getting ready to stick something else in there and rip it out, but now that it's growing, I think I'll need to let it be for a bit. We'll try it. All right, so there is a mirror from my dad's house in Florida. I've got this neat little sea glass heart. I just think that's really pretty. Peonies again, and then I've got 2 Sugar Shack bushes. And I see buds on them. Oh, I'm so excited. We have never had blooms on these sugar shacks. And I thought they're never gonna bloom. But there is one of the little blooms. Let's see if I can get it to focus. It's not wanting to focus. There we go. I'll try a different one. Here's one. Hopefully you can see that. But gets these little Sputnik. Oh, they're all over them. I bet that'll be really blooming nice by the time I get back. I'm excited to see it. But those trees are for the butterflies too. They're like little dwarf bushes, trees that like a lot of water. I'm excited. So this is a weeping Atlas cedar that I got a couple years ago. It is an old tree and it zigzags. I love how weird it is. Underneath it, we've got some verbena. Those verbenas. Oh, we've got some serendipity allium. We've got some dianthus. They're sort of bloomed out. They look a little tired. I've got a pot of peony there that I need to plant. Some buds on daylilies, iris in the back there. That is a lavender crush, hardy hibiscus. So I'm excited about that. We have another weeping tree. I just planted some honeysuckle on that trellis. These are 4 o'clocks, some more of Tammy's calla lilies there. I hope they do well. And then these, I think they were Lion in Winter, Japanese iris, that Alex at S&K told me to get, and they are gorgeous. They're right at the end. Like we're seeing them at the end of their blooms. But they are so pretty. Such neat colors and stuff. So this is our pool house that has doggy doors and it's for the boys, and it was boring, it was gray, and I wanted to make it fun. And so we used, those are square mirror things. I used paint sticks for the mullions. We took apart a palette to make the shutters. It's all just really fun. We have Nephophius, red hot pokers, planted in the front, not blooming yet. In the window boxes, I've got some lemon coral sedum. I've also got some hens and chicks. Fun. Below it, I've got gaillardia or blanket flower planted below them. So I'm excited for that to kind of fill out. Here's some more of this iris. But I just love it. I love it. It really grew taller this year. Under this ligustrum, look at these 4 o'clocks. Aren't they huge? Oh, and they had some blooms earlier before the rain hit. Well, you can't really see them because they closed up. But they're really pretty. They're pink and then some variegated ones. So look at this bed. Isn't that spectacular? Look at all that color. I wanted a kind of monochromatic scheme in this little part of this island bed. So we've got some pink coneflowers, some pink phlox that is there to the right, isn't blooming yet, some pink veronica, pink dianthus, can't really see the dianthus and the veronica, and this pink spirea. Some more midnight masquerade penstemon. Here is some cat's pajamas nepeta, some more lemon coral sedum, those are 2 banana cream daisies. Storm cloud verbena, yay, it's making a comeback. That wintered over, and I didn't know it was supposed to. I just think it's really beautiful. It's like this deft blue and white, really, really pretty. So coming on around here, yay. I love this art post with the Shasta daisies. Isn't that beautiful? My stepmother Nancy got me that art post in a store in Naples, and I love it. And these Shasta daisies I got on sale clearance at Walmart because it was the end of the season, they weren't blooming and they looked about dead. So you can see they're doing better. I had a couple that it needed thickening up, so I think we added 3. But the 3 we added are smaller still. So the big ones are the Walmart ones. We've got another coral bark maple right here. It's a dwarf variety. It's a pretty old little tree here. It looks like a giant lobster in the winter. You can see that the daisies are underplanted with dianthus. It's about done blooming. We've got some lamb's ear, Asiatic lilies there. Our cattle panel trellis. This has got passion flower and honeysuckle on it. So we're going to go in here to just take a quick peek. Now you can see there's a little bit of veronica and dianthus. But I can't believe how tall everything's gotten. There's a bird bath in the middle that my dad gave me that's got some blown glass floats in it. And everything's bigger than the bird bath. So over here, I think I've got a firelight tidbit hydrangea, some boom chocolata hardy geraniums. Look at those things. Some purple, I forget what you call it, doesn't matter. And this little frog in here was in our garden all while I was growing up, and my mom let me bring it home and put it in my garden here. I love that. Makes me think of her. Coming around here, we've got another hydrangea and my smoke bush. And it's the first year that it has smoke. Oh, you can kind of see the blooms better with the water on them. That smoke bush, yay, it's really taking off. That's awesome. We have one of our dwarf spruces that used to be in a container that now lives here. A little tiny baby dogwood, variegated dogwood, a firelight hydrangea, a butterfly bush that's probably going to get moved because there's not enough sun here. What are these? Oh, Bobo hydrangea. Bobo hydrangea, I think a firelight tidbit hydrangea, some more coneflowers, another Bobo. Right in here, there are these plants, Angelonia. I just planted them this spring. They're supposed to get these big purple umbels that are quite spectacular. So I'm looking forward to seeing those grow up. In this part of the bed, we have bearded iris. We have some more autumn joy sedum, more yarrow, another head with various sedum, lamb's ear, and a chase tree kind of closes us in here. It's all budded up. It's not blooming yet, but it's budded up. There's tiny baby. All right, so coming around here, we're having a little competition for ground cover, and I think the lemon coral is winning, but I put some creeping jenny and some lemon coral sedum. And then I added these coreopsis this spring. They were supposed to be white with pink. They're not, but you know what? We're gonna roll with it. They're blooming, they're happy, they're healthy, I'm happy. Right above them again is the chase tree. Oh, we're starting to see a little color. Let's see if you can see. So it's gonna have purple blooms. It'll look similar to a butterfly bush. There. So our macaw, metal macaw, it's got pink obedient plant under it. Some more jazz hansel or pedlum, more peonies. Look at this fantastic banana tree, yay. We planted those banana trees, I think 3 years ago from some little sticks I got off Facebook Marketplace. Those things are good. We've got oleander in these pots. The other one looks better, so we'll look at it. So we are to my rainbow daily side. So the idea when I did this was it was supposed to be white, light pink, dark pink, purple, red, orange, and yellow. This is not exactly white, but they're beautiful anyway. I have recently underplanted with lemon coral sedum so that we can fill in those spots so it doesn't weed up. They're budded up, lots of buds. I think that'll be pretty along the edge there. Here are creamsicles. That one's a little newer. Creamsicle double daily. The omelets. Crazy looking double daily. We've got hardy hibiscus in the back that's coming up. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And here's the oleander. And I'm sure everybody gets sick of hearing about this, but I got the oleander because it reminded me of our summer vacations with my dad in Hilton Head. Because when you're driving down the road in Hilton Head, they've got pink, all these different colors of oleander in the median, in the hot, dry, and they're just gorgeous. So I tried them in the pots right here in this hot, dry area, and this is their third or fourth season. So we come around here, there's a daylily budded up. I've got 3 little black-eyed Susans there. I think they're those cherry ones. So I'm excited to see them. They're under Morlora pedlum. We've got bearded iris. We have butterfly bushes on either side of this hardy hibiscus. I don't know which kind that one is, but we're looking forward to seeing it. I just popped it in last fall, so it's all budded up. I can't wait to see. Yellow Carolina jasmine on the trellises. More jazz hands loropetalum. More coneflowers. Some swamp sunflower in the back. Got the little sneaky fox peeking out, concrete fox. There's a blue fescue plant grass back there, and this used to have all blue fescue, but I don't think it does well with dogs peeing on it, so it died. I just chunked in 2 pieces of black-eyed Susan from my neighbor Tammy's garden, so I'm looking forward to seeing those blooming down there too. Here we've got some yellow primrose from my friend Nicole's mom. She gave me that. Going up this, we've got 2 new Rose of Sharon columns. There's is Crocosmia right there that isn't blooming yet, but that's those tall sword-like plants. We're gonna do the right side of this bed first. Some really pretty Miss Molly butterfly bush, underplanted with some, Gara that's fallen down. Sorry, Gara, I guess the rain knocked it down. And some primrose, but look, it's blooming its little heart out. Some swamp sunflower. That right there is a milkweed for the butterflies. This big plant, I'm sad, we have no blooms, but it is El Nino Chalupa hardy desert orchid. It is gorgeous. We will see it the next time. We've got some pink lemonade baptisia that's finished blooming. Look at this butterfly bush. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at those huge pink blooms. I'm not sure who this is, but she's gorgeous. And then you can start to see we've got bee balm. I love it. Oh, and I think this is a hummingbird moth coming to visit. Isn't it beautiful? They look like a cross between moths and bees. Oh, I don't want to disturb you there, guy. A giant Rose of Sharon, not blooming. A peony that's finished blooming. Some lemon thyme. Some really cute. Look at that color. Isn't that pretty? It looks like a sunset. Some coneflowers. Some crocosmia budded up. A milkweed blooming like crazy. I haven't seen any monarchs yet, but we've got milkweed for them. And now we can sort of look back. Aren't those pots just the best? I wish I put them in a little different spot, but they are awesome. I love them. We'll do this side now. we're gonna do our daylily side. How can I get over here really well? We may have to do some of the daylilies when we are in the front. There's a pretty one. I'll do the daylilies that we can see. But this whole big bed right here, we created for the daylilies. It's got a weeping dwarf cherry tree in it. The one from last year died, but it was in a pot, so we're hoping this one will live. But isn't that pretty? The bee balm smells amazing. So we're gonna walk back down. Da 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 da. Oh, here's one. And this is a less fancy one, but look how gorgeous. Isn't that pretty? That sort of reddish orange. And here is one. Oh, and look at this. Look how pretty that is. Really beautiful. And you've got daylilies. You just walk around out here. Look at that double. Really cool. The rain didn't help them, but you know what? That's okay. That's real life. Look at that spectacular daylily. I mean, that doesn't even look real. And this, today's the first day this one's bloomed. Oh, I just love them. They've got such variety. All right, so along this, we have these hot pots, these concrete pots that were here when we moved here. And I put autumn joy sedum and different little sedums on either side that just make really cool front for this bed. Oh, this is one of my favorite daylilies. This one is kind of peachy, pinky, a little orange. Isn't that beautiful? And then we'll come over here to this one. I'm trying to see which of these is newer so you can see it. Well, there's one. Look at the puckers on that. Ooh, and here's a pretty one. But look at all the variation we have. And it's like this all summer long. So these are all early bloomers. Not the earliest. The earliest are finished. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Oh, and here's the one I couldn't get. So pretty. So if you think about doing daylilies, you can get early, mid, and late. And we get daylilies blooming through October. It's just really cool. Okay, so we're gonna come around here. And you've got to see these pots. So I'm gonna climb up on this picnic table so you can see them. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So it's got salvia, chocolate sweet potato vine, supertunia jazzberry, pink cashmere, superbena, and truffle of pink gumfrina. This middle one has the lime sweet potato vine, truffle of pink gumfrina, and some sun-credible branching sunflowers. And then this is the same as the first one. We've got rock and blue suede shoe salvia in the back, some chocolate sweet potato vine, pink cashmere, superbena, supertunia vista jazzberry, and truffle of pink gomfrina. And there's those. This is awesome. So now we're down to our pergola that we had constructed last year. Isn't that neat? And this is usually, I think this is where I'm going to end it so that I can get back to work to go. But we're going to end it here at this pergola. But we just needed some shade. And we had a guy, Matt, that helped us with a lot of things. And he came and made this. And he made me planters around the two pots, the two posts in the front. And then a planter along the back. And I just used stuff we already had. Although I did buy the wisteria, those two wisterias. Everything else was stuff I already had. And it's just made such a wonderful place to sit. we didn't want to buy new pillows, and my neighbor Tammy had ordered these pillows and they were the wrong color. She hated the color, so she offered to give them to me. She brought them over and I was like, oh, I'll sure try them. And we put my old pillows in the pillow covers, and this is the second or the third year we've used, I guess it's the second year we've used them, but I love it. So don't think that to have a really great garden that you have to spend tons of money, because you don't. You just don't. So in these pots on the bottom, in the front, that terrible looking pot, we have some Merlot euphorbia and then some red sedum underneath it. These pots, this one on the right was a neat little sedum that I got a little piece from a few years ago when Tommy and I went to a botanical garden. They had a broken off piece. Then I think that's some regular Angelonia sedum. You can see in here more of that red, then some more purple heuchera, more of the one that broke off, a little bit of sage. Right there is a hot blonde Japanese maple, and it's supposed to be one of the most bright yellow Japanese maples around. I've got some little lovebirds sitting underneath. Aren't they cute? The neat part of this hot blonde is I did not know it would have these the red new foliage. And for anybody that knows anything about Japanese maples, these are part of the Heat Seeker series. Here in the back, I've got in the pots some of my winter pots, which we used on the back deck, which have a variegated Lenten rose or hellebore. We've got some peach heuchera, autumn fern. They turned out great. Some more fatsedra, a little coleus. Then these are hostas we had, some ostrich ferns, another of last year's pots. And now you can get a good look at these windows. Aren't they beautiful? I love them. I love them, love them, love them. And sort of one of my favorite things here that I got recently is this little parrot. Doesn't want to see us. Are you nervous, buddy? He is hand-carved wooden parrot from Brazil. I thought he was going to be a lot bigger, although he is the size that it said. I just didn't have a good understanding of what that size was. I got it off Etsy, really very inexpensively. And when he got here, I was like, oh, he's just going to look tiny in the corner. So I had this mirror already up, and we've had birds before, and they love to look in the mirror at themselves. So I just hung him in front of the mirror. And now he's doubled in size, and it's kind of a little joke for bird people, and isn't that cute? So I just love it. So I hope everybody, I'm trying to think if I forgot anything, but I hope you have a great week, a great day. I hope you're somewhere that is fun, that you're enjoying, that your dog is sunning itself. We'll just do a slow through here. Oh, the lights over the pool. I got to tell you, they are solar from Lowe's. So we'll give you the last look. I hope you have a great weekend. I won't be back for 2 weeks, so everything will have changed, but I wanted to see it before I left. We love you. Have a great day. Bye.